we are back with more Watch Dogs 2. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the cars of Watch Dogs 2. Now, you may have seen me make a few videos on the cars already, like going into dealerships, buying them, but if you didn't know, you can go to dealerships, you can buy cars, and, well, you can basically buy paints for them as well, that kind of thing. And that's really the only customization in the game, which is a little bit unfortunate, but, honestly, it's not really a game I can imagine upgrading would do a whole bunch. It's not, again, the handling, to go over that very quickly, I did that in a previous video, the handling isn't GTA, it isn't racing game, it isn't GTA, it's better than Saints Row, but Saints Row territory. I'm talking not more early Saints Row again. I've not really experienced the newer Saints Rows, but it's very, very close to Saints Row 2, Saints Row 3. 3 I didn't like so much as the game, but the handling, it was okay. But it's a kind of in the middle of GTA and Saints Row. That's the best way to explain it. It's not perfect, but it's not bad in the slightest. It's not going to be a racing game, but I can do some racing in it, and you're going to be using cars quite a lot. So I had to quickly rush through this, because, well, I wanted to quickly rush through it to show you that I did customize my character. He was wearing pants. It was part of the game storyline, but you'll see it when you actually play the game, or say we do a couple of videos on it or something. But yeah, this is one of the first cars, supercars or sports cars I found. I couldn't really say exactly what all of these cars are, honestly. I don't know what a lot of them are. You guys in the comments will be able to actually tell me. So let me know in the comments for each and every car. Put a timestamp or something. Or tell me which car, like car 1, 2, 3, whatever. This is the second car. And let me know what car it is compared to real life. I'm thinking something like a Porsche. Like, this is probably equivalent to a Porsche. I see quite a lot of these. It's like the entry-level sports or supercar, if you will. And then we got this. I think it was to do with... It was very similar to a Lotus. It was electric, though. I think it was electric. It didn't really have much of a grumble, but I think this was a Lotus. It's probably a very cool Lotus. But you actually felt the difference between this and the Porsche and every other car that I'm going to drive throughout this video. This was much lighter. It felt very... electric-y, because it didn't feel like it had a big engine grumble to it. Again, it could be just a very quiet engine, because my BMW's engine is quite quiet. But again, here's another white version of it. But yeah, this was possibly one of the first like different cars that I found. I think I already driven the other cars I showed before. This is the first newer one, and again, they all handle differently. This thing felt really light and floaty. Then the other cars felt a bit more to the ground, a bit more sporty. And obviously, if you get into slower normal cars, they are slower and they feel that way. Muscle cars don't feel as heavy as I want them to, but they feel, you know, heavier than the standard car, which is okay. Like the best for me, like the best area for me was actually GTA 4's muscle car handling and how the wheels spun and felt heavy and boated around. I loved that. I adored that. I love GTA 4's handling model. That's probably my favorite in like an open world non-racing game. But here, this is basically the auto dealer in where you can buy the cars. That thing is what I wanted to buy. Unfortunately, I didn't have the money, but I went outside and found this one, which was, I'd probably say, one of the quicker cars we found. One of the quicker cars. Again, not very fast because I didn't have NOS unlocked. So this one was weird. I think it accelerated rather slowly. And then third gear, it suddenly got a boost and went much quicker. It was a really weird one. You could probably notice it when you actually saw it. But I saw quite a few of these. More so than the ones that we're going to show in a moment. But this one, it was actually pretty nice. Again, I couldn't really see what car it's based off of, because I have literally no idea. A lot of these are like much more like created by the developers than they do with GTA, where they actually have a proper like, oh, I can match this to something. Though I could be completely wrong. Maybe they've just gone with car brands I don't necessarily really pay attention to. But there are some similarities, and there are some like the SLS, for example. And then I found that one. Unfortunately, I smashed into the back end of it, but this obviously was supposed to be like a Ford GT style car, the new Ford GT, and LaFerrari. You can very definitely tell exactly where I'm coming from with that. But I'd say more LaFerrari than that. But yeah, I really like this one. This is the car I was looking for. You can see instant speed on this fucking monster flying. It was so rapid compared to the other cars I've been driving. This, I believe, is the most expensive car to buy in the game, as of the stock like base cars. Maybe there's like some special cars. There is a mention of a mission in the game in where you basically get kits. If you don't know, it's like the car that talks and replies. There's a mission similar to do with that. It's very like, not the actual car, but very similar. But I believe that car would be pretty awesome when you actually drive it. I'm interested to find out how that is. But again, because this thing was so like crazy, I kept fucking smashing it every 5 minutes. which isn't good, because I love this car and I want to. Here you can see, for example, I got merged into someone's game, as I was speaking about before. A very good example of doing it. I didn't show it in the last video because, again, I wanted to show the cars for this video specifically, but whatever. So he got out, or she got out, I don't know who was playing, and then he decided to run, so I decided to shoot, and then I realized that I'm not going to do very well, so I got back in the car, and the souped-up machine went flying after this bow, and what I did is I just tapped him and he went fucking flying, and I won. But that's an example of the multiplayer in this game. I love the multiplayer in this game, in where I just got merged into that person's game because they had a high bounty almost. But this is actually going to be the last high-end car that I'm going to show you, because there's another couple I want to show you, starting with a very interesting one, which I actually found. It's basically Silicon Valley, this area where I'm about to go. And Silicon Valley is, well, it's like a very high-tech area. This is where basically the big corporations operate and track everything you do. And they drive around in little electric things like this. And it was just the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life. And I thought, hell yes, mate. We're going to buy one. Noodle, I think that's meant to be like Google, and they get all your information, that kind of thing. But I'm not really one that goes, oh, well, they obviously get Google information that what you search, but I'm not the conspiracy theorist type to go, oh, they're tracking everything you do. But it's a game, all right? It's a game. But this is a cool little car. There's very interesting, very, very strange cars in this game. And this isn't the strangest one I found. There's a lot stranger. There's one that I'm definitely going to use, and definitely going to have a knobheads race in, which is about to come up. There she is. The fucking tiniest thing I've ever seen in my life, other than my peanut. What? I didn't say it. It was such a fun little car to find. Again, I cannot wait to have a bunch of these and start racing with like random players or whatever, or just be driving around having police chases and this kind of thing. I couldn't say what it reminds me of. Obviously, a smart car comes to mind, but it's like half a smart car. Like, I don't think this thing would be very stable, but it's very stable on Watch Dogs. Again, I really like the fact that with this game, they've got like a lot of high-end cars. They've got a lot of new cars from the last Watch Dogs game, and well, obviously you can see that, well, this one's just very weird, and there's a few other weird ones as well. Hopefully we get to find a lot of special ones we can find. But that was pretty much most of the cars that I found during the gameplay. There are more cars of the game, but again, I want to go through them as we do normal videos. When the actual game comes out, I'm going to go through all the cars. Probably not do separate videos on them because they're not necessarily massively different between each other, but you will see some videos on a few different cars, or when I'm doing my multiplayer gameplays with the knobheads, you'll see me go through a whole bunch of cars, and maybe I'll be like, oh, Top Gear review mode. Old Top Gear, so Grand Tour, not shitty new Top Gear, alright? To be fair, the new Top Gear is going to be okay, because it's got the sick kids. But yeah, let me know what you think of Watch Dogs 2. And again, I wanted to make a little bit of a different video talking about the vehicles, because again, this is a very car related channel. And just to say, if you're looking for a racing game experience, this is not the game. If you're looking for a game that's like open world and much more light-hearted, I would guess, like, I would go with this game. Again, you wouldn't really buy this game for the cars. You would not buy this game for the cars in the slightest. I'm not recommending you do that whatsoever, but the cars are a big part of it, and it's going to be a big part of... I like, you know, looking at the cars and comparing them and seeing how they vary. If you get, for example, a massive bus, and then you get a little thing, it's going to be fun to see, again, smashing them into each other and seeing if the bus goes flying. It shouldn't go flying. The bus is quite a heavy vehicle. Anyway, as I said, if you want to see more Watch Dogs 2, I've got a lot of content I could cover. If I do another video on this, it will be to do with the multiplayer, like merging into people's games, which is possibly my favorite part of the actual game. But yeah, let me know what you think. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed. You want to see more Watch Dogs 2 on the channel. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.